morning. I'm meteorologist Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. This is your SICE Sensitive Information Sharing Environment update on Tropical Depression Fred. Fred made landfall yesterday at 2:30 in the afternoon in the panhandle of Florida. Brought gusty winds, winds of 60 to 65 miles per hour, some higher gusts. There's some power outages there. Big story now is that Fred is going to be a prolific rainfall producer. And you can see from the graphic here in GeoCollaborate where Fred is located right now. It's located right in northwestern Georgia along the Alabama border. You can see there's heavy rain. The official forecast from the National Hurricane Center has the storm moving up through northern Georgia into western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, up through extreme southwestern Virginia into West Virginia. The problem is that we have this chain called the Appalachian Mountains there, and the strong winds that are going to be coming in, you can see them feeding in from these feeder bands that hit the mountains and rise up. That causes very heavy rain, causes persistent rainfall, and that's why we have flood and flash flood advisories that are in effect. As a matter of fact, I'm going to display here what the advisories are that the National Weather Service has issued. So I'm just turning on the alerts right now, and you can see that there are flash flood watches in effect. If I turn off the radar data, also, let me do that. I'll turn the radar data off. You can see these flood watches in effect for southwestern Virginia, western North Carolina, extreme northwestern South Carolina, and northern Georgia, eastern Tennessee. That's because those rains are going to be heavy at times. As a matter of fact, there's a high likelihood of flooding in western North Carolina. So Asheville, those folks that live out there around Boone and those places, there's a very high likelihood of flash flooding. As a matter of fact, there's already a flash flood warning in effect in these green areas right here that you can see. This update is happening at about 9:30 on Tuesday morning. But you can also see this area in yellow here. That's a chance for tornadoes. There's a tornado watch in effect in this area as well. And that is because on the right-hand side of the storm, as it moves to the north, there's always a chance of some scattered tornadoes happening there. So what I want to do is back out just a little bit and show you the probability or the likelihood of flooding and how far that extends from the Weather Prediction Center at the National Weather Service. So for today, the area that you see highlighted here, and I'll turn off the current watches, warnings, and advisories from the Weather Service, the areas that you see in red and the areas that you see in yellow. Yellow is severe thunderstorm possibilities during the day today, and the red is flash flooding is likely in this area. Look how far it extends from northern Georgia all the way up to southern New York. Now, why southern New York? Because there are thunderstorms that are moving through there already today. So this may not be exactly related to Fred or directly related, but moisture is pumping up on the eastern side of the mountains and it's feeding those thunderstorms up there. But all the way down here in South Carolina and this whole area in red, flooding is likely today. So that means utility crews that are responding to power outages will encounter flooded roads. Do not drive across flooded roadways if you're headed anywhere to do any sort of response activities. And then I'm going to turn this off for today from the Weather Prediction Center and turn on tomorrow's likelihood for flooding. And look at this, how much it overlaps. West Virginia, Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, over towards Philadelphia into central Pennsylvania. A lot of rain is forecast to fall, so flash flooding and flooding is likely to happen. So be prepared. We'll keep you updated throughout the day. We'll perhaps put another video update together. But remember, the dashboard updates all the time. Whenever the Weather Service presses enter on a warning or a watch or any sort of advisory, it shows up in the dashboard. And so consult that as well. I'll be back a little bit later or tomorrow morning. We'll be watching the weather for you very closely. I'm meteorologist Dave Jones with your SICE Sensitive Information Sharing Environment update for the Fleet Response Working Group and the All Hazards Consortium. Thanks so much for watching this update. We'll talk to you later.